All right, get ready to shop because today we're diving deep, deep into the world of Trent Ltd.
Trent Ltd.
A major, major force in Indian retail, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
We've got company reports, we've got articles, we've even got like the inside whispers to uncover Trent's incredible, incredible growth story.
Yeah, it's a fascinating journey for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at, their strategic decisions, their brands, even those market risks they're kind of navigating.
Right.
Because to really understand, where they're going, we need to understand how they got to be so successful in the first place.
Exactly. And with India's apparel market projected to hit a massive $692 billion this year.
Yeah.
The stakes are, they're high.
Yeah.
So we need to unpack what's driving Trent's success and what kind of challenges they're going to face as they expand.
Well, one of the things that I think makes Trent so interesting is how they're kind of this reflection of the broader economic and social shifts happening in India. Rising incomes, like people's tastes are evolving.
Right.
And Trent is really, really capitalizing on that with what I think is a smart multi-brand approach.
Yeah, that's one of the things that jumped out at me when I was going through, all these reports.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Westside. They've got Zudio. They've got Landmark.
It's impressive.
Each one seems to cater to like a distinct, segment of the market.
Totally.
It's like they've got it cornered, like a brand for every shopper out there.
Yeah, it's a fascinating case study in diversification, and you can see it's paying off.
Yeah.
But we'll want to unpack, how they're managing all these different brands.
Right.
While still maintaining this cohesive, overall identity.
Totally. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's rewind a little bit, back to the beginning.
Okay.
Trend story. It starts back in the 90s.
Yeah, 1998.
So how do they go from this, relatively small player to this like retail giant? What's that story?
Well, they were founded as part of the Tata Group.
Okay.
Which, as you may or may not know, is one of India's most,
Right.
respected business conglomerates.
Mm-hmm.
But I think from the very beginning, their goal was to cater to this rapidly evolving Indian consumer.
Okay.
Someone with, increasingly diverse tastes, aspirations.
So they saw the writing on the wall, right?
Yes.
India's economy was changing.
Yeah.
Consumer behavior was changing, and they knew they had to adapt.
Exactly. And that's where their multi-brand strategy comes into play.
Okay.
They recognized that no single brand could really capture the complexities
Right.
of the Indian market.
Right.
So they created this portfolio, this range of brands, each with its own unique identity, its own appeal.
Okay, so let's break down those brands because each one seems to have like this distinct personality.
Yeah.
Starting with Westside.
Okay.
Give me the rundown. Who's their target customer and what's their secret sauce? What's the recipe for success?
So Westside, it's all about that curated shopping experience,
Okay.
They're targeting a more discerning shopper.
Okay.
Someone who's fashion conscious, who appreciates quality.
So think like someone who's like browsing, the fashion magazines, following the latest trends,
Absolutely.
looking for pieces that make a statement.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And they offer this mix of exclusive in-house brands
Okay.
and then some carefully selected external brands.
Right.
It gives shoppers this really unique selection, something they won't find anywhere else.
It's that exclusivity factor.
Yes.
You're getting something, special, something unique
Okay.
when you shop at Westside.
Yeah, you feel good about it.
And from the looks of these reports, modernization, space management, customer experience, that's a big part of the success too, right?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Their stores are designed to be inviting,
Right.
modern, well-organized. Right.
They put a lot of thought into creating an atmosphere that just enhances that shopping experience.
Yeah.
Makes it enjoyable.
Makes it easy.
Easy, yes.
And they're not just relying on, brick and mortar.
Right. Right.
They've got an online presence, which is,
Crucial.
easy to
It's
do.
crucial in today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actively working on integrating their online and offline channels
Okay.
to try to create that seamless shopping experience.
Right.
So however you want to browse, shop, interact with the brand, they want to meet you there.
Yeah, it's that omni-channel approach that you see, like a lot of really successful retailers kind of adopting these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's move on to Zudio, because they seem to be taking like a completely different approach.
Very different.
Their motto is striking fashion sharp prices,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of like caught my eye when I was reading through here,
Yeah.
What's their secret sauce?
I think for Zudio, it's about speed, affordability, and trend relevance.
They've really tapped into this younger, more value-conscious demographic
Okay.
who, they want to stay on top of the trends, but
Right.
they don't necessarily want to,
Break the bank.
break the bank. Exactly.
Right.
So their sourcing strategy is a major, major factor here.
Okay.
By sourcing most of their merchandise from within India.
Okay.
They're able to minimize lead times, keep those costs down.
Right.
And that's how they get those really, really competitive prices.
Well, it's like they've streamlined their entire supply chain
Yeah.
to get those latest trends out to their customers as fast and as affordably as possible.
That's exactly it.
And you can see it right in these reports.
Yeah.
Their revenue, it's growing at this incredible rate.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't forget about Landmark.
Right.
Where do they fit into this whole multi-brand puzzle?
So Landmark is their family entertainment destination. They've got toys, they've got books, sporting goods.
One-stop shop for the family?
Exactly. Make it easy. One-stop shop. Yeah. And they've really tapped into this growing demand for experiences.
Right.
It's not just about the product anymore. It's
Oh, yeah.
about, creating those memories as a family.
Yeah, it's like they're selling those fun family outings, right?
Yes.
Where the kids can, run around, browse the toys.
Totally.
Parents can relax, maybe with a good book.
Exactly. It's a smart move, especially
Yeah.
when you think about, the growing middle class in India
Mm-hmm.
and their increasing, emphasis on family time, entertainment, all of that.
Yeah, but I am curious about their partnership with Zara.
Okay.
Because the reports mention that the Inditex Group, they own 51%.
Right.
Which, it raises some questions for me about, control, autonomy.
Yeah.
How does this partnership even work? And what are the potential implications for Trent?
Well, partnering with a global giant like Inditex, it obviously has its benefits, right? They get access to these well-established brands, operational expertise,
Right.
a certain level of prestige.
And let's not forget the financial aspect.
Of course.
The reports show that Zara, it's generating a significant amount of revenue for Trent.
Absolutely. But, there are potential drawbacks too. Inditex, they have a say in how the brand is used,
Right.
merchandise sourcing, even customer propositions.
So it's this trade-off
It is a trade-off.
between, getting that access to global markets, expertise,
Yeah.
but maybe giving up some control.
You got it.
It's a balance
Yeah, it's a delicate dance.
that Trent needs to kind of carefully navigate.
For sure.
But before we dive into that, let's kind of shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about Trent's overall, growth strategy.
Okay.
What are the key factors that have, really fueled their expansion
Mm-hmm.
and made them such a dominant force in Indian retail?
Yeah, good question.
Right. So we've set the stage with Trent's origin story,
Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty clever multi-brand strategy. But what are those specific growth drivers
Yeah.
that have propelled them to the top of India's retail scene?
Mhm.
What's the engine behind this impressive growth?
Well, it's not just one single thing, right?
Right.
It's a combination of, really strategic decisions
Yeah.
and a really deep understanding of the Indian consumer.
Okay.
Their property selection process, for example.
Yeah. The reports mention that they're really meticulous about where they choose to open those new stores.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding any empty space in a crowded mall.
Well, absolutely not.
Yeah.
They have a dedicated in-house property team
Oh wow.
that uses this really data-driven approach
Oh yeah.
to identify those, prime locations.
Right. Okay.
They look at, demographics. They look at consumer spending patterns,
Yeah.
even the competitive landscape
Wow. So
in a particular area.
it's all about finding locations that align with their
Yeah.
their target demographic,
Exactly.
where their brands are really going to resonate.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And they've been very strategic, I think, about their expansion strategy,
Okay.
focusing on what they call clustered expansion.
Okay. Now, what's the thinking behind that?
So particularly with Zudio, they've been concentrating stores in states
Right.
like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Gujarat.
Okay.
They're creating this really strong, local presence,
Right.
building that brand visibility.
So it's like they're creating this retail stronghold almost.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Establishing themselves as the go-to destination.
100%.
But,
Yeah.
Finding the right location, that's only half the battle, right? The store itself, it has to be appealing.
It does.
So how is Trent approaching, store design and creating those really unique brand experience we were talking about earlier?
They understand that, the physical environment, it's crucial, especially in a world where, online shopping is so readily available.
Right.
So they're putting a lot of effort into modernization.
Right.
Creating that consistent brand identity across all their stores.
Okay. So for Westside, it's about creating that fashion theater
Yes, exactly.
atmosphere that we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the elements that kind of contribute to that?
So for Westside, it's about, creating this sense of discovery, aspiration. Think like sleek layouts, curated displays, inviting lighting.
Right.
It's about showcasing those brands in a way that feels, luxurious but still accessible.
Yeah, it's like creating this space where shoppers, they feel pampered, they feel inspired, like they're treating themselves.
Exactly.
Right. To something special.
To an experience.
Yeah.
It's more than just,
And then you have Zudio, which takes this like totally different approach.
Yeah, completely.
Right. It's less about aspiration, right?
Yeah.
It's more about that treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe, right?
The thrill of the find.
Yeah. Yeah. How does that translate to their store design?
Well, Zudio stores, they're designed for like easy navigation, maximum visual impact.
Okay.
So they use really bright lighting, clear signage.
Right.
And the merchandise displays they're constantly changing.
Wow.
It keeps people engaged.
Keep them coming back for more.
Yes. Exactly.
It's like a fast fashion playground.
Exactly.
Right. There's always something new to discover.
You got it.
And then there's Landmark, catering to families, looking for, that fun and enriching kind of shopping experience.
Right, because Landmark gets it,
Yeah.
Today's parents, they're not looking for just a toy store.
Right.
Right. They want that curated selection.
Right. It's got to be high quality.
High quality, engaging,
Yeah.
They want things that are going to like spark their kids' imaginations,
Okay. Right.
encourage learning through play, all of that.
So it's about offering like a point of difference almost.
It is.
Right. A sense of trust, of reliability
100%.
in a market that can feel, let's face it.
Yeah.
Overwhelming. Right.
Totally.
Oversaturated.
Yeah. And they've really positioned themselves as that destination for families who,
Sure.
they value quality. They value, education.
Right.
A more curated shopping experience.
Right. And let's talk about their supply chain, because I think that's got to be another
Absolutely
crucial aspect of their growth story.
Yeah.
How are they keeping up with the demands of such rapid expansion?
Right.
And these ever changing,
it's tough.
fashion trends.
So their supply chain, particularly for Zudio, right?
Yeah.
It's incredibly agile. It's incredibly efficient.
Oh.
By sourcing most of their merchandise locally.
Right.
They're able to minimize lead times,
Right.
reduce transportation costs.
Right.
And they can respond quickly to those, changing trends.
It's like they've created this like fast fashion ecosystem almost.
Yeah.
Right. Where they can go from like design to store shelf.
Yes.
In like record time.
100%. 100%.
And it's not just about, speed. It's about cost effectiveness too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Keeping those prices low.
Sourcing locally.
Right.
Keeps those prices, competitive, which is huge.
It's a huge selling point for them.
For their demographic.
Exactly.
And it aligns with this, growing trend, right?
Yeah.
Of supporting local businesses.
Yes.
Reducing their environmental impact.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win, right?
It is.
But let's talk about their focus on in-house design.
Yeah.
And exclusive brands. Because that seems to be like a key differentiator.
Totally. And Trent has really strategically invested in building their own design capabilities, developing their own, private label brands,
right?
Which gives them a lot more control over the products,
right? Okay.
It ensures exclusivity,
okay,
and it lets them respond really quickly to those emerging trends.
So it's like they're creating like their own fashion ecosystem almost.
Yeah, it really is.
Right. With each brand offering this unique perspective.
Yeah.
And catering to specific preferences.
Absolutely, yeah. And with Westside, it's about curating that mix of exclusive brands that really offer something different.
Right.
And with Zudio, their in-house design team, they're laser focused on global trends.
Okay.
So those collections are always, fresh,
right,
stylish, affordable.
Yeah, it's a really smart strategy that gives them a leg up in such a crowded market.
Yeah, totally.
But let's face it, right? Mm-hmm. Growth on this scale,
right,
it doesn't come without its challenges.
Of course not. Of course not.
So what are some of the key risks that Trent needs to be mindful of as they continue to expand?
One of the biggest risks, I think, in the industry as a whole is, tastes change.
Right.
Consumer preferences evolve.
Constantly.
What's trendy today, might be old news tomorrow.
Right. So you gotta be agile.
You're gonna be agile.
You gotta be on top of it.
Responsive, yeah.
Right.
100%.
Constantly innovating.
Yeah.
To keep up with that, that consumer demand.
And they need to be mindful of, the competition.
Right.
Because India's retail landscape, it's intense.
Right. It's fierce.
New players are emerging all the time.
Right.
They can't afford to just sit back and relax.
Right.
Rest on what they've already built.
Right.
They've got to keep pushing.
It's this constant game of evolution and adapting.
Yeah, for sure.
But beyond the industry specific risks, there's bigger economic factors to think about too, right?
Of course.
India's economy, it's been growing at such a rapid pace, but what if that slows down?
Yeah.
How would that impact, Trent's expansion?
It's a valid concern. Right. Economic downturns, they always impact consumer spending.
Right.
Especially in categories like fashion, entertainment.
Right, it's those discretionary.
Yeah. Exactly. The ones you can cut back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they need to be prepared.
Right.
For, those ups and downs.
Right. Have those contingency plans.
Absolutely. Be able to adjust, pricing, inventory, expansion plans.
To align with whatever's happening in the economy, right?
Exactly. And we can't forget about, the bigger picture here, the geopolitical landscape.
Yeah.
Global events, they can impact economies all over the world.
Right. There's that ripple effect.
Exactly.
So how's Trent mitigating those risks related to global instability?
Yeah.
Supply chain disruptions, all of that.
They've shown that they can adapt.
Okay.
They navigated uncertainty.
Right.
I mean, look at how resilient they were during COVID, right? Right. So they've got this diversified sourcing strategy. They've strengthened their risk management frameworks, and they're constantly,
monitoring the situation.
Guys on the ground.
Keeping an eye on things.
Exactly.
But even beyond, those kind of external factors, there's internal challenges, right?
There are.
As they grow.
Yeah.
They got to make sure that, their organizational structure, their culture, even their talent pipeline, right?
Yes.
Can support that growth. So what are they doing?
Yeah.
To address that?
I think they understand that their employees are their biggest asset.
Okay.
So they're really investing in them.
Right.
Creating this culture of innovation, collaboration, clear career paths. I think that's huge.
So it's about making sure that employees feel, valued.
Valued, yes.
Challenged. Like they can actually contribute.
Exactly. Yeah. And are also really focused on strengthening, their corporate governance.
Okay.
Ensuring ethical, sustainable business practices.
Which is, it's more important now than ever, right?
Now more than ever.
To consumers, to investors, even to employees, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's about building a company that's not just profitable, but it's responsible.
Yeah.
It's accountable.
Absolutely.
Right.
But
let's circle back to something we touched upon a little bit earlier. Their partnership with Zara.
Right.
Right. And the potential, risks and rewards that come with it. So how do you see this? How do you see this playing out in the long term? And what does it mean for Trent's overall strategy.
Yeah.
So we've talked about, Trent's strategic approach to growth and all of that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day,
yeah,
it all comes down to, like,
a customer.
the customer experience.
Yes, right.
100%. What makes shoppers choose Trent
Right.
over, like, the countless other options that are out there?
Yeah, what's the allure?
What's the allure?
Yeah.
Why are they going to those showrooms?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talk about understanding the Indian consumer, because I think that's what they do so well, right?
Yeah.
They understand what those consumers want, and they deliver.
And they deliver on it. Consistently.
Consistently.
Yeah.
So for Westside, it is about that fashion theater experience.
Yeah, and the reports, they highlight those exclusive brands.
Right.
But it's got to be, it's more than just, the product itself.
Of course. Yeah. It's the whole package.
It's the store, it's the lighting.
Yeah.
The way things are displayed.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of contributes to this feeling.
Totally.
Of like stepping into this world of style and aspiration.
100%. Yeah. And Westside, they understand that their customer,
Yeah.
they're not just there to buy clothes.
Right.
Right. They're looking for that escape.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's a chance to indulge a little bit, express their own style.
Right. And they do it well.
They do.
They really do.
They do it really well.
But Zudio,
Yeah.
they're targeting like a totally different,
Completely different
shopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's less about, aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about, we were talking about it, like that treasure hunt.
That thrill of the find.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's about value,
Yeah.
But they still want to. They still want to, like,
They want to be on trend.
stay on trend.
Yeah. Yeah. They want to find those like hidden.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hidden gems.
Right.
The stylish pieces that aren't going to break the bank.
Right. And Zudio, they get that.
They deliver.
Right.
They do.
They really do.
And I think they're constantly rotating inventory helps with that,
It's like you never know what you're going to find.
Exactly. Keeps it exciting.
Right. That's smart.
Especially in today's, in today's world, where the fashion cycle is so fast paced.
It's like lightning speed.
Yeah. So they really keep their finger on the pulse of what's hot, what's not.
And then there's Landmark.
Yeah.
Right? Catering to those families, looking for something,
Yeah.
a little more fun, a little more engaging.
Yeah. And they get it,
Yeah.
Today's parents, they're not just looking for any toy store.
Right.
They want
quality.
Yeah, they want a selection of like high quality.
Right. That are actually, gonna like benefit their kids.
Engaging products.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's about offering like that point of difference, right?
It is.
That sense of trust.
Yeah.
Reliability.
100%. Yeah. Because it can feel overwhelming.
It's so right.
So they've really, I think, positioned themselves well as that destination.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, beyond the individual, brand experiences, there's these common threads.
Yeah.
That run through all of their showrooms.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's this consistency.
Yeah, there's
in their approach.
Yeah, they've got that.
Even though, each brand has like its own,
personality.
Its own little personality.
Its own vibe. Yeah. But I think, for one, they're all committed to creating that really safe, comfortable, welcoming shopping environment.
It's huge.
Their stores are clean, they're well lit, they're organized.
Right.
Which matters, right?
Especially
in India.
In India, where shopping can be,
Yeah, it can be a little
chaotic.
Yeah, a little chaotic. So I think, providing that sense of calm, that sense of order.
Yeah, it's like a little escape, right?
It is.
From the craziness.
100%.
Right. And they all prioritize, from what I'm seeing here, they all prioritize like customer service.
Staff are trained so well. They're knowledgeable. They're helpful.
Yeah, it's those little things.
Yes, right.
That make such a difference.
It's the small touches.
Yeah, it's those genuine interactions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
where you really feel seen.
Totally.
You know?
And I think finally, right.
Yeah.
They all deliver on that brand promise. You
Sure.
know, whether it's the Fashion Theater of West Side or the Treasure Hunt at Zudio or the family-friendly atmosphere of Landmark.
Right. You know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting.
Right. When you walk in.
And I think that's what builds, that trust, that loyalty.
It's that consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Trent Limited, what are the key takeaways, that you want our listeners to really remember?
I think Trent's story is really a testament to the power of understanding the customer.
Mm-hmm.
They've demonstrated this uncanny ability to really anticipate and respond to those changing preferences.
Right.
They create these brands, these experiences that really resonate.
And they're not afraid to experiment, right?
No, they're not afraid to take risks.
To innovate.
Absolutely.
To really push the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
In Indian retail.
And they've done it all while still being,
right,
ethical, sustainable.
Yeah, they're proving that profit and purpose can coexist, right?
100%.
Yeah.
It's an inspiring story.
It is.
Yeah, but their journey is far from over, so it's going to be fun to see what they do next.
What the future holds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been great.
Thank you.
A really, really insightful deep dive into the dynamic world of Trent Limited.
Absolutely.
From those humble beginnings to this incredible rise.
Yeah.
They've shown us that understanding the customer, embracing innovation,
yes,
and staying true to those values.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are the keys, right?
Yeah.
To building a brand that people connect with.
They've got it figured out.
They really do.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
I'll catch you in the next one.